Before the many other things we're gonna talk about today, I think we should all take a moment and show our love to Taeyeon and her family. Her father suddenly passed away on her birthday of all days, and if you've ever seen any interviews with her dad, he seemed like someone who was able to recognize his kids' personalities, talents, and passions very early on and really encourage them toward their dreams. I have no doubt it's the reason Taeyeon is where she is right now, but as strong as we've seen she can be, she's now lost friends and family in a very short period of time. So she needs support now more than ever. And there's no easy way to transition from one heartbreaking thing to another, but I don't see a lot of people talking about Pentagon's recent livestream where Kino broke into tears.
아니 우리 웃게 해주려고 노력하잖아요.
맞아요.
아 그거 오늘 아침에 막 보는데
왜? 무슨 말인지 알아.
아 너무 고맙더라고요.
그러면은 이 고마움을 받아서
Pentagon have yet to secure a #1 win on a music show, and Kino feels as though it's their fault, taking that burden off of the fans' shoulders. The part that really hit was when he said he just wants to be a group that people are proud of being fans of, but I think fans are proud of them regardless of winning or not. I'm still shocked to this day that Shine did not get them that first win. It was one of the best songs of that year, and think about having a song that highly regarded, even by those who aren't fans, and still not get that win. It's incredibly discouraging. They're probably thinking, what do I have to do? And it's tough because I want to see Loona get their first win, and they might actually get that this week. But I also want to see Pentagon get theirs. The guys are reportedly slated for Road to Kingdom, the boy group version of Queendom, so I'm hoping it does nothing but propel them. The heartwarming silver lining of this is seeing everyone, regardless of bias and fandom, coming together to help both of these groups. And then seeing that gratitude getting returned. K-pop fandom has this negative stigma with it sometimes, but it's action like these that really show how much love and support there really is throughout. It's like BTS's Jimin and Monsta X fans greeting and waving to each other. I don't know if he knew they were Monsta X fans, he was probably just glad to see fans in general. With everything going on right now, the music show performances are basically in front of a camera crew and that's it. Maybe Jimmy Fallon. That's why while the performances and stages have been awesome, they feel a bit empty without hearing that crowd. Jin even said it's boring without fans there, and RM took it a step farther than that and bared all of his frustrations from this recent comeback. He said they worked so hard preparing stuff to do in front of fans just to now do them in basically empty studios. He talked about how he feels like a crazy person screaming by himself because the whole situation made him feel dejected and angry. He cried out of frustration knowing the part of their tour that is at home in front of friends and family was cancelled. But what was maybe the most interesting was the guilt it seemed that he had for feeling this way. And he knows that and he addresses it, how they are blessed for things that they've gotten to do for this comeback as well. It's just a really unique emotional struggle going on in his mind, and it's interesting to see him unravel it as he talks, as his eyes well up. It's not often we see people get vulnerable in front of the camera like Kino and RM, and we have to imagine probably every group feels like this right now as the situation continues to drag on. Jui is basically stuck in her home country for a couple of weeks. Big Bang's historic comeback at Coachella has officially been pushed all the way to October. I don't know if I can wait that long. But the big news with Big Bang that went right along with that is the four of them have officially re-signed with YG Entertainment. And I'm actually kind of glad. Hear me out. Because yes, while YG Entertainment can't seem to properly manage and utilize all of the talent that are currently under them, for all four guys to have re-signed, that tells me not only are they planning for more projects as a group, but they had to have negotiated to have a lot of control over their own work. There's no way they re-signed without having most of the control over what they do, right? If that's not the case, they could have gone anywhere. Also, yes, Seungri has officially enlisted. I'm hesitant to go much further than that because it seems to always cause a huge ruckus and not the most civil conversations. But because of the Big Bang news, YG stocks soared, but their press release seemed to have made some fans feel like BLACKPINK was totally neglected. YG Entertainment said that Big Bang would be their representative artist, and that seemed to come off to some people as them not appreciating the groups that have held YG Entertainment up while Big Bang were gone. This somehow turned into an argument about money, numbers, relevancy regarding BLACKPINK versus Big Bang, and that's absolutely something I will not take a part of, because if you think anyone from either of these groups would ever partake in something like that, I think you're crazy. This tweet right here is a more mature way to look at things rather than uselessly backslapping each other. You know, verbally, not physically, like UFC fighter Brian Ortega slapping Jay Park. This has to be one of the weirdest pieces of news that came out this past week. Long story short, Jay Park manages a Korean fighter who he also translates for. Ortega didn't like what Seungri had to say and decided to slap Jay Park even though he was just translating. Jay wasn't hurt but slapped Ortega back verbally, and now Ortega has officially apologized. Like I said, really weird, but also keep in mind they're in the business of selling fights. This kind of shenanigan usually occurs right before a big fight. But you know what slaps the hardest this week? ITZY's Wannabe. Did I use that right? As soon as it came out, you guys blew up my Twitter, my messages, and comments with two things. The first thing was because I had a theory that ITZY and Stray Kids will always have a small thread of connection. Here's a very brief summary of it. They were birthed from the same event / survival show, split off into their own realities, one going up, one going down, one asking questions, one answering them. And while there are many other connections to be explored, a lot of you guys seem to think the thread was definitely thickened in ITZY's Wannabe because it seems to allude so much to Stray Kids District 9. Well, let's explore that. What was Stray Kids District 9 all about? It's about their desire to be the outcast rather than the same as everyone else, turning a blind eye on what they're told to be, how to look, breaking out of society's pre-made molds and creating their own distinct district of 9, #OT9. Now, what is ITZY's Wannabe about? It's really clever because the term wannabe is associated with copying others, but their song Wannabe is about wanting to be themselves, wanting to be different from the rest, turning a blind eye on what they're told to be and how they should look. Sound familiar? Again, I think it's a thin thread that connects these two, but I also now think there's no doubt it's there. It's a brilliant way for both groups to do their own thing while also exploring the same subject matter from different angles. Now, the second reason you guys blew up my comments on Twitter was, of course, the pants. Especially Leah's pants, especially the practice pants. And you know what? I'll have to sleep on this, but I think these pants or jeans that Yoona is wearing for Weekly Idol might be the best ones I've seen in 2020. Oh, do they top Cherry Bullet? I don't know, but they're